Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. This episode of Welcome Home is brought to you by DVC Resale Market. Thank you for joining us on episode 254 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom, here with Trevor and Damon.
Yeah, I'm here. I know that's what the masses are asking for. Well, at least one review was, which again, I don't know.
By the way, the guy that wrote that review actually emailed us for the contest and said, "Not a burner account. This is a."
See, so there you go. Now I feel a lot better about it. Well,
I was still skeptical, so
maybe it's actually an AI.
Yeah, it's a bot.
You never know.
Yeah, after we just talked about AI for a while.
Yeah, we had a very interesting 30-minute conversation before the show started.
Yeah, we did serious business. So
we
I mean, as per usual, nothing really got done. I mean, Tom's gonna have to do it later, but still.
So this is a funny thing. Like, Damon asked me to do stuff, and then I just kind of forget. And so, like, Damon's decided now that he's just going to corner me at the beginning of the show.
Exactly.
Just be like, "We're not starting the show until you do it." It's like, okay, fine.
I mean, it still didn't work for me, so I don't know what to do next. I'm going to drive to Charlotte, I guess. I don't know. I feel like maybe that's the next.
I'm busy. I got stuff going on. Sometimes I forget things. We got like a lot of entries into. I was really regretting not doing a Google form, Damon, for the content.
Yes, that probably would have been a good avenue to go.
It would have been, but we got a lot of entries, so
that's good.
Yeah, go ahead.
And we learned a lesson, so we know for next time when we do.
There you go. But before we do that, like, I wanted to say that. So I went to go watch my son play soccer yesterday, and that trip, like I said, is long. It's about. Well, not long. It's 3 hours, but there's this huge gap of any sort of cell service in between, right? So I talked my wife into going because she, doesn't always come. Sometimes I go up there because I'm the one taking the pictures. So, like, I got to go up there, take the pictures, come home. No big deal. But since she was coming with me, we talked about, like, this year's vacation, 2025's vacation, and 2026, because that's 2026, I think, is probably going to be the end of, like, these just everyone comes with us vacation. Or even if it's not the end of that, it's going to be the end of, like, my kids having to worry about taking off time. So my oldest is going for data science. Currently, he's in, like, the statistical ends of data science, but he's going to eventually kind of move over to the computer end. And he's going to go to grad school. So that was the first thing that kind of let everything kind of fall into place, was understanding that if he goes to grad school, then 2026 still is a vacation window. So what it looks like is this year we're doing the Disney cruise, maybe go to Dollywood towards the end of the season, not 100% sure. And then 2025 is obviously this huge epic trip, right? Epic universe. So again, if I get hosed out of this summer of 2025 and they push it back to fall, it's going to create such an issue for me. But if not, we're going to do, I think, a 2-weeker. I think my wife will have to work some of that, but we're going to do a 2-weeker, and we're just going to go to Universal and just blow it out. But the more interesting one is...
Wait, you're going to go to Universal every day for 2 weeks?
I don't know, maybe.
That feels like a lot.
Hey, man, I don't know. Like, we might, maybe we don't go to the park every day, but, like, yeah, we're going to try to stay there for 2 weeks.
I feel there's a lot to do, like, around Universal and stuff.
And you know what it is too, is, like, I don't want to feel the pressure of, like, a ride, right? Like, and I think that's kind of sometimes what a lot of people feel when they go to Disney or Universal, and, like, something's down, or, hey, I got to get on this ride. And then you're like, yo, I got to get on Guardians. I got to get on Tron. And I don't want any of that. I want to be like, hey, come day 9, I haven't been on, Harry Potter's, Ministry of Magic, but I'm going to get there. Like, I want to be a more relaxed sort of trip, which can only happen if you're there for an extended time, I feel like.
I get that.
Mm-hmm. So again, if it doesn't happen during fall, though, that's going to be if it doesn't happen during the summer and they turn it into a fall, that's going to be a problem. I'm also okay if some of it opens and some of it doesn't. Like, that's also not a problem for me at all. And then the last thing is in 2026 is we're going to do that cross country trip. and we're going to hit up Disneyland. So we were always trying to figure out how we could do it where my wife didn't have to take off as much time, because I can take off 2 weeks of work, but she really can't. So I think we're going to do like a trip where some of us drive and then pick them up in Dallas. Because, dude, there's so much to do in Dallas. Like, there's so many water parks. There's so many, like, things to do. So, and I want to, do the Dallas Cowboys tour and all that. So we'll pick them up in Dallas. Maybe my middle and my wife will fly out. And then we'll drive the rest of the way. We'll do, a few things along the way, including the Grand Canyon, then hit Disneyland, and then come back, drop them back off in Dallas. And then we'll hit Dollywood with just the three of us on the way home. So that's it. I mean, that's
that sounds like a complicated plan.
It does, but it was just, I had to figure out a way because, again, the kids will still be in 2026. They'll be okay because they'll still be summer. Like, we won't have any problems for them. I can take off 2 weeks, so that's not necessarily a problem. It was really my wife. So I think that's the way where it actually can happen and actually work. So yeah, that's the plan. So again, we'll probably hit, like I said, Dollywood on the way out, maybe Nashville on the way back, kind of the intermediate step. Going out to Dallas, something like that. But we're also looking to get another car. So that's the thing. Like, we have a Honda Odyssey, which we use for our trips, but man, it's long in the tooth, right? It's definitely long in the tooth. And we're even thinking, like, when we go on this cruise this summer, like, we're just not going to take it. So we can take another one of our cars, but they're not super comfortable for trip going, right? So I think that we're waiting on that 2025 Kia Carnival. Like, I don't think we're going to do another Honda Odyssey. They have a hybrid Kia Carnival coming. If anyone has a Kia Carnival and loves it or hates it, please let me know, because that's kind of our plan. We're probably going to have to order it without necessarily really seeing the exact car that we're, looking to purchase, which is a first.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But those second row reclining seats, I think, are a game changer in terms of taking trips with the kids.
It's funny, Damon, because I think about this often. When we drove from Jersey when I was a kid to Disney, my dad had an Astrovan. If you remember what an Astrovan was, it's like
I do.
It's kind of like a work
so bad. They just kind of fell apart all the time, but they weren't
exactly.
so bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So my dad had an Astrovan, and you could take out the back seat. And so he used to just, when we take long trips like that, he'd take out the back seats and we'd throw sleeping bags in the back and just hang out in the back.
We did that in the caravan too. So unsafe.
It's so unsafe. I think that all the time. I'm like, I can't believe we did that.
I think all of us did that in some form or another. Yeah. For us, it was, my uncle's station wagon, right in the back.
I had my Sega Genesis Game Gear,
Oh, sweet.
We're good.
Had my Game Gear back there with the extra battery pack and the
so did you have like 3 packs of Costco batteries to run that thing on?
No, I had the big battery pack you could buy. Like, it was the Sega they had an auxiliary battery.
Charge back,
yeah. So I had that, and then I think I had I think there was a magnifying glass screen on it, because the screens back then were pretty small.
Yeah.
And you had the big suitcase of all the games too. So I always had that going around with me too. But yeah, no, I just think about that all the time. It's just like it's insane that we used to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, that sounds like you got a good good plan coming up here, Damon. So you're not going to drive all the way across country. You're going to fly halfway and then drive.
No. Me, my oldest, and my youngest are all driving.
All driving. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's just my wife, and then my middle one won't be.
Gotcha.
They'll be meeting us in Dallas. I can't do the whole trip like that. It was so funny. I was trying to explain this again. Now that I'm 50, things, right? Like, you have to think about weird things that you don't think about. So, my oldest, we were talking to him at the soccer game, and we were kind of telling him, like, this is our plan. He's like, well, why do I have to go? I said, dude, listen, what if I just trip over something and hurt my ankle and can't drive? He goes, that's what your life's like now? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I go, who knows? But if I did, then what am I doing? So then it's just either just me, or it's me and my daughter who can't drive. Like, no, we need another driver there. Like, just in case, like, I don't know. What if, like I said, what if something
That's
happened?
What I was thinking is, like, your boys are old enough that, you can swap off driving, which makes it easier for everybody
to drive, though.
That's fair. Yeah.
My middle one's going to listen to this and be mad.
Well, you didn't say which one until now.
No, he would have known. He would have known.
He just would have known? Okay.
He just would have known.
That's pretty funny. That actually, it's funny. That conversation actually kind of coincides with Dan's question that we put in group.
Yeah,
I don't know if
why don't we get into that, and then so before we do that,
do you want to do the contest winner? Yeah.
Well, I was going to even say before that. So coincidentally, like I mentioned, we're actually planning a trip to Disneyland in 2025. This is still like very loose, but we're like kind of like you, Damon, is we're looking really far ahead. But the interesting thing is that so my son, after this last trip, he's said to us, he's like, I can't do any more Disney trips until I'm done high school. Like he's really like locked in and wants to get that done. So we're actually talking about just me and my wife taking a trip and leaving my son at home because he'll be almost 18, which here or technically like we can leave him home right now because he's old enough. But my parents are nearby, so it's not like he would be like entirely by himself. Like he would have people there to help him if he needed to. But we're actually going to be looking at going back to like pre-kids, just me and my wife traveling to Disney. And we figured we'd start with Disneyland because it is a smaller park. It's, and it sounds silly because it's still getting on a plane to go somewhere, but Disneyland is way closer than Disney World. So if something did happen and we need to get back home, it's easier for us to get on a flight back from LA than it is to come back from Orlando.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So,
it's much shorter flight. So
yeah, exactly. So we're in the process of planning that too. And,
I just don't know how many days I feel like I'm going to need. I think we're only budgeting for like 3 max.
I think you can do Disneyland. You can do in 3 days for sure.
Yeah, I think we talked about this too. I would never double up on anything I've already done, so I can skip everything that I have already done at Disney World.
Wait, so you're saying like you won't do any ride that exists at Disney World already?
Correct.
You won't do it at Disneyland?
Nope.
Even if it's like Haunted Mansion, which is very different than the one in.
If it's different, then I'll consider it. But again, I'm not a huge Haunted Mansion fan anyway. So maybe, but like I just want to do all the different stuff first, and then if I have time, then I'll go back. But yeah, I'm 100% not riding the same stuff. If it exists already, I'm good.
Don't sleep on Pirates and Haunted Mansion though, because they are very different from the Disney World versions.
Yeah, I mean,
very different. Yeah,
but like, what else is out there that's exactly the same? There's a fair amount that's exactly the same.
Soarin's the same. What else?
Rise of the Resistance, all the Star Wars,
all the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, Star Wars is the same,
which is a big thing to eliminate. To be honest with you,
Toy Story Midway Mania is the same. The Little Mermaid ride's the same, and
so I would eliminate all those things. I just wouldn't need to go on them unless time fully allotted itself.
Yeah, makes sense. And I think for me next year, I'm doing a cruise. I'm doing a Disney cruise next year, I believe. It's not.
Wait, did you book it yet?
No, because we don't know when we're going yet. So
let me, if you can, I would wait till I get on my cruise and tell you which island to go to.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
you're saying whether the new one or the old one?
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we haven't booked yet because we haven't. This is for my in-laws' 50th wedding anniversary. I think we're going to do a big family cruise. So
nice.
So, but we haven't really planned that out. It's just something we've talked about. So, but I think that's what's happening. I mean, and we'll probably end up going to Disney as well. I mean, I don't know.
I was telling the guys I don't necessarily see myself at Disney World for probably a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which, that's fair. That's how life goes, right? You don't always keep going to the same place forever.
I mean, it's going to necessitate a lot of what they announce, right? Like,
sure.
I really, there's nothing pressing for me there right now. Like I said, I'd love to go on Tron, but it's not pressing for me.
Yeah.
You weren't here for my trip report, but
no.
I actually
went on Tron like 100 times.
I went on it enough that it was hurting my neck. Like it is awesome. Actually really hard on your neck.
Yeah, I could see that.
That position is just hard.
Yeah.
And then what do we have really next that's been announced is really just the Bayou Adventure.
Yeah,
So we don't really have too much. So again, if they announce something super cool, that might change. But for right now, like I said, it's more about that. And I really just can't get to Hollywood Horror at Universal, no matter how much I tried. If I tell you the one thing that COVID kind of hosed us on, it was that.
The Halloween
because
horror.
it becomes a problem now with, again, like, when I have kids in college, like you can't just pull them out of college to go do that, right?
Yeah.
Like
It's so
high school, you
expensive
could.
too. It's so expensive.
I don't even care about that because I do
Yeah.
it once, I'd be happy. But like, I'm trying to see if there's like anything that lines up where like, okay, I don't have to worry about my daughter and wife. They 100% don't want to go. So I just got to get the boys. I
Just gotta get
almost
the boys.
think at this point, it's going to be after my middle gets out of college that we go.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, which is really not the crazy because you're talking about 4 years from now.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Still, I would have liked to have gone prior to that, but
I get that.
Yeah, I think you and I are having the same problem there, but like mine's doing this in high school where, he's saying, I'm too busy to do these trips or do these family things with you. And,
Mhm.
and, it's not like coming from a place of like rudeness. It's, they're trying to, sort out their lives. So it's like, you kind of have to take a back seat and be like, okay, we'll do this later, which is also frustrating because, we really want to do those things and not
And you
wait
don't
until
know-
our kids are 30 to
Yeah.
do them.
I mean, I'll probably be doing some of that, but yeah, I mean, you don't know what later really means, right? That's
Yeah.
always the problem. So I think that's kind of our plan at this point, but we'll see. I think the only dilemma that I really had is I think I'm going to miss out on the new Dollywood Hotel. It's just, and here's the reason why. We were going to book, but the problem is that this summer trip, we're going to do it sometime in August to Dollywood, which may or may not happen. We think it will happen. We don't know who's coming with us. If both of my boys' girlfriends come with us, then that would put us in a different situation. So I think what we're going to do is we stayed at like some other like not Dollywood place that we really liked. It was a timeshare sort of place, but you could also, pay cash and do it. And we really enjoyed it. And I think we're just going to do like a 3-bedroom one of those. And then if more people come, great. But if not, it wasn't so expensive that it necessarily matters. I mean, that's kind of our plan. But I mean, I guess I could do 3 rooms at the Dollywood Resorts and then just cancel one. But it seems like a lot of money. I don't mind paying for my own family. And until they're married, like, yeah, I don't want to pay for you. I'm sorry. Like, I just don't.
I mean, that's fair. It's, bringing or paying for significant others is hard, right?
Again,
like,
if we have a big enough place that we were already getting, that's fine. That's why I think maybe we'll do this other route. And then if they come, that's great. If they don't, then we just means we have more room. That's okay. But to get another 3rd room just to accommodate people, I can't do it, man. Can't do it.
Yep, that's fair.
All right, we got Disney stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
Oh, no, contest. We
have contest stuff. Yeah. So
while you guys were just talking about that, I was trying to find a sound effect for like a celebration sound effect to use for when we announced this winner, and I just couldn't find one. But I found some silly ones.
Do you have the wheel spin ready?
Oh my gosh, I don't think I do. I think the wheel spin is gone.
So I just for transparency here for everyone. So everyone that was put into the contest, I put everybody into a random or a wheel spinning app, and I'm going to do this now. So we're going
to do this live.
Yeah, we're doing this live. We didn't decide this ahead of time, so the winner. Or I guess do we want a drum roll or something? I don't know how we want to do this. It's awkward.
Oh, that's not the right drum roll. That's not the right drum roll.
Oh boy,
that's a
it just drums.
This just went south.
Okay,
are they up
to bat? The wheel? Here we go. Okay,
do it.
Our winner is Chris Dahl.
Oh wow, Chris!
Yeah,
congratulations. That's great. Chris, also a Patreon, a patron, and also in our Discord, and also one of the few listeners Damon and I have actually hung out with. So,
awesome!
Yeah, so congrats to Chris. That's great. I'm sorry I don't have a sound effect. I'll do this one again.
I'm almost thinking you have me now that you said that, Tom. My daughter's coming out to Charlotte for a concert in like a week or 2.
Oh.
And they were talking about going out to dinner. I almost feel like they should go to what's it called?
Optimus Hall.
Yeah, it might not be fancy enough. It's her birthday dinner, so
it needs to be fancy. I see.
I mean, I don't know, but yeah. So I need some Tom ideas for.
I can give you some ideas. Yeah,
that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, I'll give you some ideas. All right. Well, let's go back a little bit here. We're just going to talk about. Oh yeah, there we go. So Chris, congratulations to Chris. So Chris, we'll reach out to you. individually to figure out your whole prize situation. But I did want to do this question from Dan because it kind of made me laugh, because Dan's questions always make me laugh. Dan says, my daughter just turned 16 and got her learner's permit. I've been giving her lessons after school, and it's been going much better than expected. She's the youngest of my 3 children. I'm definitely a more patient teacher now than I was with my oldest. What Disney character would you pick to be a good driver's ed teacher, and who would be the worst? I like this.
Best has to be Goofy, I almost feel like.
I feel like the worst is Goofy. What?
No,
No,
he's the best.
worst
He's the
is
most
Goofy.
understanding, and it would be fun.
Goofy is a dad, and he would rock it for sure.
I'm not saying he wouldn't do well with the teaching part. I just feel like Goofy generally is
But he's
a poor
not the one
driver.
driving, though.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying Goofy generally is a poor driver, right? Like,
But he's not driving; he's teaching somebody else
He's-
to drive.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's also kind of like Launchpad. Like, of course, you want the person that's been in the most accidents to help you avoid an accident. Right? Like,
That is fair.
why not?
that's Damon. All right, okay. I have to give you that. I think.
I mean, the worst one. Oh, that's. I mean,
I have an answer, and it's.
I mean, I don't even know who the worst. I would say though, if I had a secondary, if it wasn't Goofy, it would be Gadget. That would be my secondary.
Okay.
Just because she knows how everything works, right? So it's super easy for her to explain everything and why you do this and why you do that. I don't know about the worst though. I mean,
feel like Donald would get too road ragey and like grab the
yeah,
wheel and,
I
like,
could see that. Could
Yeah.
be road rage,
Yeah.
and you definitely don't want that.
Okay.
What's your answer? Trevor's got a real answer to this.
The answer is Lightning McQueen, but Lightning McQueen would have an arc because
Yeah.
he would start
Wait, is
off
he the
as
best or the worst or both?
well no he would start off as the worst. He would not.
Oh, you're saying that's why you're saying it's an arc. He would start
Yeah.
off bad and get.
He would start off bad, but then he would hit that moment where he would realize that he's he needs to back up and let the person learn, and then he would suddenly become the best, and he would
But
have
maybe
this, like, arc.
what was the dude's name that taught him? What was the
Doc Hudson?
Yeah,
Maybe Doc Hudson's the best then.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, but Doc Hudson was already a teacher. He like right off
Yeah,
the
that's
bat,
true.
he was good. I'm saying Lightning would start off bad.
No,
but
I
then
agree
he
with
would-
you, but
he would develop into a good teacher.
to the original question of who would be the best, maybe it is Doc Hudson.
Yeah.
That's not a bad answer.
I mean, learning from a car how to drive, like,
Well-
who else is teaching you?
Here's my question, though, Trevor, because if we're in the Cars universe,
Mhm.
you're not riding inside Lightning McQueen. You can't do that. It's an alive car, right? So you have
Yeah.
another car that's not alive in this universe that you're riding in,
I don't even want to get into the logistics.
that is a really it is an interesting discussion because
right?
do you
Yeah.
sit on top of Lightning McQueen?
Yeah, do you sit on like the hood or something? But
Well,
then you're
there
not driving.
definitely is. I mean, so think about it though. In Chibiverse though, right? Chibiverse, right? There is
Yeah.
Lightning and other characters.
Alongside the normal
Yeah.
characters. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I'm just, I feel
I
like
feel
everyone in
like-
the Cars universe is an alive car, right? So then what car
Yeah.
are you driving even?
Well, maybe they're doing like how they do in the show where he's got like the headset on and he's communicating with the
Okay.
person in a normal car, like the Pizza Planet van or a truck or whatever. Like, because the truck exists across like multiple
It does.
universes, right?
That
That's
is
true.
true.
Somebody's driving in the Pizza Planet truck and he's on the radio, helping them to drive.
All right, I like the
Yeah.
scenario.
Yeah, there
See,
we go.
My answer. I already said my answer. I feel like Donald would be
Mhm.
would be not a great one. I think Goofy would be the worst, but I think Donald would not be great because I feel like Donald will get very impatient, have a tantrum, grab the wheel. I feel like it would just be not great.
and just generally freak out, like
Yeah.
not even like tantrum, but he just kind of freaks out at
Yeah.
the littlest things
Yeah,
sometimes.
just starts yelling, right? Like he just in that Donald's exasperated voice thing that he does.
Yeah.
See, I feel like the best would just be Mickey because Mickey's like a rule follower. He's like he'd be like 10 and 2.
But what's his skill set?
That's-
I don't.
That's why he's not the best, though. That's why Goofy
Yeah.
beats Mickey. Like
I mean, you guys have
understand
never
what David's
seen
saying.
Mickey and the Roadster Racers, obviously.
I mean, I have, but like, I feel like that just
But-
is like that's not a benefit to your discussion. That's like a hindrance.
I
Like,
mean, if you want the person to be a good driver, you want somebody that follows the rules, right? And Mickey's using his turn signal all the time, right?
well, that is true. There is that. But if you're put in a weird situation, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want someone who has practical knowledge, not book knowledge.
All right. So you guys want a little bit of a looser driver here, somebody that
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. You don't want a 10 and 2 person. That's
No, because
Well,
it just
Goofy
you're not
would
in that
teach 10 and
situation
2.
all the time.
You think Goofy would teach 10 and
Yes,
2?
Goofy definitely
Absolutely.
teaching 10 and 2.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah. No question. I mean, have you watched Goof Troop anytime
Yeah.
recently?
I mean, not recently, but yeah, I have watched it. Yeah.
Like he is absolutely like going to be, he teaching Max how to drive. Like he would knock it out of the park, but he would also of course have his own flair on it as he does.
Yeah. No, that's fair. It's so funny going into this. Goofy was my worst answer, and you guys are like, no, he's the best. Totally thought about that differently. Okay.
and you didn't expect Lightning McQueen to be in the mix either.
I didn't, because I just think about real cars, like regular cars exist in the Cars universe, right? Like they're all alive cars. I have many questions about the Cars universe. Like who builds the cars? Other cars?
Let's not dive too
dive
far.
We've already probably talked about this for too long, but I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
So I saw this announcement yesterday just to get into some DVC news, and I was immediately disappointed. But then after I read more about it, I was like, okay, we're good. So DVC announced that they're opening the Gateway to Discovery Preview Center at Disney Springs. It is now open. It's a new additional space for DVC owners, and then that they're going to build above it, which sounds like the lounge that they announced a while ago. But according to the reports I'm seeing, it is not the lounge that they're, because after we talked about this as a rumor, I believe someone in the Discord said, "Oh, it's going to be at Disney Springs."
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, like that monkey's paw wish kind of thing.
Yeah. But now it's like they're saying that this is not the addition. This is not the new lounge. So we still have hopes that there could be a real lounge. Because when I saw this, I was like, "That's lame. Nobody wants a lounge at Disney Springs."
Yeah, I'm not going all the way to Disney Springs to sit in a lounge. Like it has to be in a park.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole point of the lounge is it's like 95 degrees out. I'm sweating and my phone is half dead, and I want a free drink and to sit in air conditioning for a while. Like, I don't know if you want to do that. I mean, do you need that at Disney Springs as much? I don't know. I feel like you don't, but
I'm not spending enough time at Disney Springs to be concerned about it.
Yeah, that's fair. Thing. Yeah.
So I'm glad so I guess, did they actually confirm that this is not the lounge they were talking about, or was it a third party that said this isn't the lounge?
So I don't know if DVC themselves have confirmed this, but I mean, DVC News, which is pretty reliable, said this is not the additional member lounge. That they say this in their article. So they say that construction is going to begin on that one sometime in 2024. So I mean, I'll take their word for it at this point. And I also saw some people in the Discord reporting different sources as well, saying it's not the new lounge. So hopefully that is the case. Because if it was the new lounge, I'd be bummed.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Like that's not what I'm hoping for. So, but this does look like a cool welcome center. I don't know if as a member I would go out of my way to go there.
I'm just trying to think, like, what's the scenario for this, right? Because, okay, this is me personally, but when I'm at Disney Springs, I'm on a mission. Like I'm
buy something.
Yeah, we're shopping for specific things
or to eat, right?
Yeah, to eat. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. You're going there for food. You're going there to shop. So, what's the scenario where you're stopping by a lounge, right? Like I just can't envision.
You'd have to get a lot of shopping in to stop at a lounge, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you'd have to be walking around for a while and just be like, oh man, I'm so hot, I'm tired, I want to go sit somewhere. Okay. Then I guess if you're doing a marathon shopping session at Disney Springs, sure. But I feel like you could just also like go to like one of the bars at one of the restaurants and do the same thing.
Then you're paying for it.
Then you're paying for it. You're right. That's not free.
But to Damon's point, it's you're kind of going, if you're at Disney Springs, you're thinking about eating, you usually have somewhere in mind. So stopping at a free lounge, it seems counterintuitive.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, listen, I'm all for more benefits, right? Like give us as many benefits as you can. So I'm not going to say that this is like, the worst thing ever. If they hadn't announced another another lounge to be open and then open this one, I wouldn't be disappointed. I'd be like, oh, cool, that's fine. If this ended up being the one that they announced, which it doesn't seem like it is from what we're seeing, then it's fine. I'm just fine with it. It's cool, great.
Right.
It looks nice too. I mean, there's some cool artwork in there. Now, the one thing that would bring me in there is if they had like a special pin or a special giveaway. I'd pop in for that if I were at Disney Springs already.
Yeah. I guess if the magnet was cool enough.
But then it's just like you might as well just make it a store or a kiosk.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's true.
I mean, we did get our membership Magic pins in Epcot. We just stopped by the DVC kiosks there and got them. So,
you got the pins? Nice.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. No, I mean, listen, I'm glad that this isn't the one, but I do want to also talk about these cabins. I don't know if you guys saw this.
I was reading this actually.
This is fantastic.
And I misunderstood what this was saying at first.
Oh yeah. So all of the old cabins at Fort Wilderness that are being replaced with the new ones, apparently the old cabins are being put up for sale. And they're fully furnished, and they'll deliver within 45 minutes of Orlando at no additional cost. And the price is $900 per unit, which I feel like is not that bad.
I feel like that's cheap, man.
Right?
Yeah. For a fully furnished cabin, yeah. Still not doing it.
Well, yeah, you need a place to put it. 45 minutes of Orlando. I mean,
Also, I'm not buying a fully furnished cabin that's been used for
people's
a long
gunk
time at Disney. No,
it's got people's gunk.
Gunk.
Yeah, people gunk.
No, I am not that adventurous.
I mean, I would, if I had like a piece of land and just had a spare $50,000 lying around. I mean,
yeah,
sure, why not? Fully furnished, at least cabins are pretty nice on the inside. I mean, they're decent cabins. So I get what you guys are saying, but that's, every time you stay at a hotel room, you have people gunk, right? Like that's not
true, but I'm not paying $49,000 for it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But you probably couldn't build a brand new cabin for $49,000.
No, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
The problem is that you're paying that for used furniture, right? Like,
yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I can't justify that price tag.
I mean, does if it comes with the appliances though too? I mean, that's not too bad either. I mean, although it's funny because in the 3D rendering they have here, the fridge that they have on there is like beat to heck. It's got like scratches and dents in it. Oh man, but again, I don't think $49,000 is that bad of a price, especially if they're going to deliver it to you for free. Which I would love to see the process of how you deliver a cabin like this. Like,
I'm sure Disney's going to have it knocked out of the park, though.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. It's interesting though that they're doing this. I mean, listen, it's a good way to get some extra cash out of these things. I don't know if they're selling all of them, by the way, but. It looks like they're, I mean, this article says it's not uncommon for Disney to use a third party to dispose of old hotel furnishings. Well,
I think that's what it is. I think that the thing is that instead of having to pay disposal fees, right? Maybe
it's easier to sell it off used. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you saying, Damon, that they're probably not even making money off of this? They're just like, it's just like when I posted my my mattress on Facebook for free, so just someone would take it off my hand, so I didn't have to pay somebody to take it.
Could very well be the case,
right?
It might.
I mean, it's a budgeting thing for sure. It's because like you said, you're not having to, giving it away for free saves you money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when I had this conversation with my wife because we literally just replaced our mattress in our bedroom.
And how fast was it gone? Probably pretty fast.
30 minutes. I actually, she was skeptical. I'm like, I'm going to post this in the neighborhood Facebook group, and that thing is going to be gone within a half hour. Like it's going to be gone. And sure enough, it was. But it was one of those things. It's like, okay, I either pay somebody $150 to take it away. Or because when I got the new one, it was one of the bed in the box kind of deals, So like we didn't have someone come and install it. Usually you have someone come install it, they take the old one away. We didn't do that this time, so I'm stuck here now with a king size mattress. Like, what am I going to do with this thing? But it's funny because they're like, oh, thank you so much for this. I'm like, thank you. You're doing me a favor. You're hauling away what was going to be my trash, right? Like,
so you don't want to say that, but
I didn't say that to them. No, I didn't say that.
I mean, it keeps it out of a landfill too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If somebody could use it, yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, it's a 10-year-old mattress. I didn't want to use it anymore, but anyway. So no, I just think this is funny that they're doing this, and I do wonder what kind of market there is for this. I'm sure there will be plenty of people that end up buying this.
I mean, I guess, to be fair, I own a lamp from the old Polynesian rooms. So
that's a little bit different than owning an entire cabin.
True. Yes, but it's in the same vein as, you're right. There is definitely a market for people that want to own a Disney cabin. It's just not me.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, this is pretty ultimate. I mean, I don't want to say ultimate memorabilia, but it
kind of is, though.
It is, right?
I feel like there's a potential, if there's somebody nearby that has like a camp site or
could you charge extra? Could you make money off of this?
Yeah, like if you're setting up your own resort or something, not resort, but like
you can use it as an office for that too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just. Good.
There's definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody buys up like a chunk of these, and you find that it's like, 30 minutes away from Disney, there's a place that is like the old, looks like Wilderness Lodge, but is not. And
businesses ruin everything.
Yeah.
I will tell you, the original Facebook post for this has 215 comments and 65 shares. So obviously, somebody is. I mean, either people, and some of the people are just joking around about this, but. I mean, like even somebody said here, look, I wish I had land close by. This would do very well on Airbnb with the Disney crowd.
Oh,
right. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, that's a good call, right? You could market that, as like a old Disney World cabin. Like, yeah. But, and the fact that they'll deliver for free, I mean, not for free, but it's included with the cost. I mean, it's pretty great. Right. So anyway, I just thought this was a funny story. I wanted to talk about it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do our ad.
All right. This week we have our sponsors, DVC Resale Market, a World of DVC company that is the leader in the DVC resale industry, with 13 former Disney Vacation Club guides and 3 former Disney Vacation Club quality assurance managers. If you're thinking of buying DVC, browse the largest selection of DVC resale listings anywhere, with DVC experts on hand 7 days a week to answer your questions. If you're thinking of selling, turn to the friendly professionals at DVC Resale Market, where over 98% of listings sell within 30 days. In 2023, DVC Resale Market helped over 4,400 families join or add on to their memberships. Go to dvcresalemarket.com/welcome home, call 1-844-DVC-PROS, that's 382-7767, and when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you.
All right. So one of the interesting pieces of news that came out of this kind of came out of left field, but it's kind of interesting. So starting in 2025, it's also incredibly interesting that Disney's announcing this 2 months into 2024, but whatever.
It's fair. People are planning 2020. I mean, we're already talking about 2025
that's true.
Trips and stuff, so it's fair. Yeah,
it's true. Yeah, it just feels very early for them to announce this. So Disney Resort Hotel guests arriving in 2025 can enjoy admission to one of the water parks on their check-in day, included in their stay. So meaning free, right? So you don't you don't have to have a ticket on your check-in day. You can, if you're coming in for a half day, you can go and go to the water park for free for that day. I think it's a great idea because a lot of people don't do park days on their first day because they're traveling and maybe they're not going to be there for the first day.
And again, like as people have been saying, I think it stops the shenanigans of people being upset when their room's not ready.
Oh yeah,
that's really the biggest benefit you have here.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Although I think to myself too, it's like, well, where are you going to change into your bathing suit? You don't have your room yet. I mean, I guess there's change
rooms at the water parks.
Yeah, I guess you could do that. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I mean, I also think to myself, I'd have to prepare ahead of time for this because I wouldn't want to have to dig through my luggage to get bathing.
No, you definitely got to bring a carry-on bag with just that.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about this, so I was thinking about this from my scenario, which is flying in. The problem is that when we fly in, it's a 5-hour flight and we're arriving at like 6 p.m. So there's no way on the way that we come in normally that this would ever work for us. But then I saw a couple of people talking about it and I think this is actually kind of a good idea, is that maybe that first day, instead of staying at Disney, you know, pick a hotel offsite, like at the near the airport or something, stay that first night offsite, and then actually start your first day the following day. And then it's, you know, you pick up, move your luggage, you know, drop your luggage off at your resort in the morning, and then go spend a day at the water parks. So
are you then negating the benefit that you get though? Is because then you're having to pay for an extra room for an extra night, you know?
Well,
unless
I
you
mean,
get a cheap one. You get a cheap one, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, if you can get, you know, a room for a reasonable cost in it, you know, and it offsets I guess the deciding factor is, you know, is the cost of a room for a day less than the cost of buying water park tickets, right? Like, if it turns out it's cheaper, you know, I would actually consider doing that, you know, just for the sake of having a free water park day.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And you know, to your point, Damon, too, I think it helps a lot with that check-in thing, right? Because if you're just letting people go to that park for free and, you know, they can just go hang out at the pool or whatever, you know, you're not really all that worried about when your room's going to be ready, right? Like you're starting your vacation right away without having to buy that extra ticket. I would have never thought of this as a benefit, but it really makes a lot of sense.
Now, my question too is why would Disney decide to do this now? Do you suppose they're concerned about water park attendance, or do you suppose I
don't think that they're concerned about it. I just think that why not utilize a resource that's not being fully utilized?
Yeah, I think it's efficiency.
Yeah, and I guess maybe, and this is just my take on it, I feel like since COVID, that like it seems like they've been they've been spending a lot of time refurbing the water parks. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if they're feeling that, you know, they need to draw people back to like it feels kind of like people have like forgotten about the fact that they have water parks there, and they're not bad water parks. Like they're both really fun water parks, but it feels like sometimes the people are like, oh yeah, Disney. Oh, I forgot that they have these things there, right? So it feels like they're kind of driving attention back to it again too.
Yeah, it is interesting to think about, like, why are they doing this, right? I think part of it is what Damon is saying. I do think it's you know, helpful for that check-in experience where they don't have people, you know, on them, you know, should be like, when's my room going to be ready, or hanging out in the lobby even, right?
They can just go to the water park. Yeah, leave me alone.
Go to the water park. You go for free. Get out.
Good. Go have fun. Leave me alone.
Stop bumming around in the lobby waiting for a text message, right? I mean, that seriously could be part of it. It is. I mean,
when you think about it, right? So you go on all these message boards in general, right? I mean, I do. We all do, right? Like at least at some point.
Sure. Yeah.
Those posts are rampant. Oh, I'm sitting here waiting for check-in, or hey, so many people like, well, if I'm going to get there 10 hours before check-in, do you still think they'll let me check in? Like, I have 3 kids and they're very hungry. Like, I need to check in. Like, hey,
no, you don't. You need to manage yourself better.
But what I'm saying is, right, like, it helps eliminate that.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the pain points that Disney probably has to deal with regularly, is that. And what is it really costing them? Not much. And on the flip side of that, like you said, after refurbs are done, if you get to go to the water park, listen, let's talk about Blake. I love talking about Blake when he can't be here to defend himself. That's my favorite. Right? The thing is like, so Blake doesn't like water parks, and for whatever reason. So again, this is, I'm not saying this is the case at Blake. I'm not saying this, but, in general, like, friends that I know, if their parents don't like amusement parks or don't like water parks or don't like this, you tend not to go to them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they say, okay, well, I'm not going to pay. Like I can guarantee you that if my wife was married to somebody that didn't like water parks, because she does not like them, nobody would ever have seen a water park, right?
Yeah.
But this may be a way for them to get people to say, hey, listen, I don't think you know how fun water parks are. They're like water theme parks, which Blake would disagree with, but they're like water theme parks. So maybe if you go once, now all of a sudden, right? Like, it's kind of like one of those things. Have a little taste. Oh, you like it? Okay. Well, next trip, maybe you want to come back. Like, I don't think they're going to necessarily lose money on this. I think it might be something where the kids go, that water park the first day was awesome. Like, we need to go do that again.
Yeah, I agree with that, Dan. I think that's a great point, David, because we don't do water parks, right? Like my wife does not like water parks, so we typically don't waste our time doing it. But if we get it for free, I mean, why wouldn't we go just chill?
And what
on
if
the
your
lazy
daughter
river?
was like,
Yeah.
"This is better than Magic Kingdom"?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know,
You
right?
don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. We're all saying the same thing here too. That our
Yeah.
wives are not fans of water parks, but we're
Right.
the ones dragging them to the water parks. Which I'm in the same boat. I absolutely love water parks. I wish
Yep, I do too.
I wish I could do them more because we live somewhere where we don't have them.
Yeah.
But I'm in the same boat where, you know, we would drag our son there when he was younger, or not drag, but you know, we would go there. Me and my son would have a blast. And,
Yeah.
you know, my wife doesn't like doing the slides and stuff like that.
Absolutely,
you know,
right.
which is
It's-
fair, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's fair. Like, I'm gonna, maybe in your family it's fair.
Well, my wife she's fine on the lazy river. So she will,
Yeah,
she
that's the
finds her
same
own
thing.
fun. Yeah.
But you don't want to pay for the lazy river.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
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 But it's
She
free.
wouldn't go by herself. Right.
Yeah.
This is
yeah.
the whole reason we haven't been to Volcano Bay.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
and again, and here's the thing, like my Aquatica story, like lives in infamy in this house. So like, you know, her being on there and swirling her way, like all of that, like has just kind of
Yeah.
made it even worse. But yeah, I think this is just a way to get people there. I think it's a great way, and they're not losing that much because honestly, most people are not going to arrive at 8 a.m. and hit the water park all day because either A, you're flying there, and if you flew there to get in at 8 a.m., you're probably exhausted, so you go for a little bit, or you're flying in late afternoon and you go later in the day. Okay, you're still not there a full day. I don't see them having a lot of full day people doing this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and to your point, it's go ahead, Trevor.
I was just gonna say, yeah, unless, like I said, from my point of view, it's like, if I could find a place that is cheaper than the cost of water park tickets, that's the only way I'm doing a full day. Is like I spend my first day elsewhere.
That brings its
No.
own set of annoyance, though.
For sure.
And does it outweigh really the water park tickets as an add-on? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's a decent question. Yeah, but I mean, to your point though, like I said, we wouldn't pay to do it, to go to the water parks, but I mean, why not go there and just hang on the lazy river for a half a day, or, you know, go in the wave pool for a few, or just sit on like a chair by the water. Like, I mean, you know, it's better than sitting in the hotel lobby waiting for your text message to come through, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
it's a really, really creative way, I think, you know, to both, you know, fill up the water parks. Because listen, I don't think this costs them anything, really. I mean, it doesn't. It just kind of, you know, takes away a little bit of the capacity, right? But
Yeah.
you know, is that really that big of a deal? I don't think so. And I mean, it actually probably makes them something too, because people are going to buy food, they're going to buy drinks, they're going to buy stuff there too, right? So
Yeah, I guess the interesting thing about a water park is if the water park is open, it doesn't matter if there's 5 people or 50 people there. The operational costs are the same because
Exactly.
you're running the slides is just, you know, you're paying to pump the water and everything. You don't care, like, yeah, you don't actually care how many people are there necessarily. Besides, like you said, you know, making sure that you're justifying, you know, admission prices and food and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, you know, Disney obviously knows they can afford to, you know, waive the admission price. And then, yeah, it also becomes a weird mental gymnastics thing where if you're not paying for it, you're more inclined to, well, I didn't pay to get in here, so I can, you know, buy lunch, or I can, you know, I can buy snacks for the kids or whatever, right? So yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and by the way, I do want to mention too, this does also apply to DVC members, annual pass holders, and cast members all get this benefit. So, because I know some initial reports, people weren't sure about the DVC part. In fact, I think I saw someone saying that DVC members weren't going to be eligible, that they called member services and they told them that this was not, the DVC was not part of it. But this is the official Disney announcement, they are saying Disney Vacation Club members are eligible for this. So,
yeah. So yeah, I guess information doesn't always trickle down quickly from like Disney to DVC folks and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, that's happened before, right? Like, that's happened before where Disney's announced something that may be available to DVC members and they didn't get the communication to the DVC people fast enough, you know, and so people started calling member services, and member services like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know?
I just had an insane thought. So if it applies to DVC members, what's stopping you from booking a bunch of one-day stays
and just getting free...
and just hanging out at the water park? And yeah, you may have to, you know, switch rooms or whatever, but you know, you could.
You know, Trevor,
Yeah.
I'm sure Disney wasn't thinking like, how is someone going to take advantage of this? Like, I mean, I guess if you really love water parks.
I have 15 days booked individually, and I sleep in a different room every night. But every morning I get up and go to the water park, and I just have, a couple of bathing suits, and I use the laundry.
Yeah.
So that was very unhinged.
I mean, there's probably going to be some rules around this, right? And I don't know if I don't see any rules here.
But actually, I guess split stays are kind of an interesting thought too, because people do split stays, and would it count? If you're doing half your trip somewhere and then you move and then go to another resort, that counts as a new booking.
It does.
Would that get you a water park day and actually that even becomes very interesting, because you can plan a water park day in the middle of your trip where you drop off your luggage at Bell Services and they take it to the next resort, because they'll do that. You go to the water park, spend a whole day at the water park for nothing, and then go to your new hotel room. I mean, that's interesting.
I'm looking here at the fine print, and I'm not seeing anything that says you can't do it. So
yeah, you got me thinking now.
Yeah, because I mean, it doesn't really say that you can't do it. I mean, So we're talking about all this theoretically. So for anybody that tries this, don't get mad if they come back and tell you can't do this. I'm sorry if I put a bad idea in your head, but we're just theorizing about this. So I'm sure there's somebody at DVC or at Disney that's just like, surely somebody wouldn't book a bunch of 1-day stays just to get free water
park marathon.
Yeah. But somebody's gonna. I mean, you're probably right that somebody will do that.
If I was close enough, I would almost try and see how many water park days I could get.
I just love that you're trying to find loopholes in the system.
This is how I think. Is there's always an angle. Everybody knows that. There is always an angle.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we continue on here? Because we want to talk about some food, and I do want to first though talk about this. So the newest Disney Cruise Line ship is going to have a lot of park stuff in it, right? Like that's what I'm really excited about. And I've got
the Pirates Lounge and the Haunted Mansion Lounge.
Yeah, that's the one that has the Haunted Mansion. Yeah. So Disney's announced that they're going to have a sculpture within the lounge that's honoring Disney legend Raleigh Crump, who was one of the main guys that actually created the effects for the Haunted Mansion, right? Like he played a huge role in designing the Haunted Mansion. He was like one of the original Imagineers, and he was one of those guys that had his hand in everything, right? Mm-hmm. So, but especially the Haunted Mansion. So I think it's extraordinarily cool that they're doing this to honor him, and the statue is also very cool.
Oh yeah, this statue is amazing, and it fits if you've watched any of the documentaries on Raleigh Crump, he was always finding all the weird stuff, like the whole thing about the Haunted Mansion was it was supposed to be a museum of the weird was kind of the original idea. Maybe it was maybe going to be a walkthrough attraction at one point too. Yeah, it went through a lot of different iterations. Yeah, I love the fact that I assume we'll have a picture of this when we post the podcast.
Yes,
I love the melting wax look of this. It is so cool. It
is very cool. I also noticed it says Brother Roland on the bottom, so which is cool. But yeah, like you said, the half of his face is melting is pretty cool.
Just awesome that they're doing stuff like that. And I wish I could do a cruise, but we've talked about this before. There's the chances of me doing a cruise are really, really slim. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but my wife will never get on a cruise ship, and I don't blame her. But health conditions stop her from doing it. So it's, I'll never get on this, but I would love to go to this lounge and just look at this kind of stuff. And I'm waiting for, I'm assuming somebody Brian over at DCL Duo or somebody to post videos when this all
Well, I'm going to try to get myself on this cruise ship. So
yeah, I thought Brian said he was going to get on like Maiden Voyage.
Yeah,
so,
I think he is. Yeah.
So I really want to see video of this. Is all like.
Yeah, I agree. So the interesting thing about this, and I don't like to just read things on the show, but like to your point, where you're talking about the Museum of the Weird. So the reason why he's melting like that is that. So it's as part of Raleigh's larger creative concept for a Museum of the Weird in the Haunted Mansion. His original vision included a character that appeared to be melting like a candle. So that even makes it cooler that they're taking one of his original concepts and making him into that original concept, right? And then they also mention here too that the inscription says, "Brother Roland, forever revered for embracing the weird." Which again is a cool reference. These are just cool references, right? Yeah. Like the fact that they're doing that and they're referencing. I mean, even just I didn't know that the original Haunted Mansion concept had a character that melted like a candle. So this is something I just learned, which is cool.
Yeah, there's I remember watching I've watched a couple of different like YouTube videos and stuff. Talking about this stuff. And the whole Museum of the Weird, the interesting thing is that this stuff, like it actually even, the stuff he was doing, kind of made Walt Disney feel uncomfortable. It was like, this is like unsettling kind of stuff, which is weird to hear. I know how weird, but, it's weird to hear that, this kind of stuff happened at Disney. But I think the thing that people don't realize is that, his kind of creativity and this kind of weirdness is what spawned what we have today. And it's not always bad for it. Sometimes you have to go really far into that and then dial it back to a place that is kind of, makes sense for everybody, which is really what the Haunted Mansion is it's like, it started off as it was going to be crazy and could have flopped at the end of it could have been, this is weird, I don't like this, why is this in a Disney park kind of thing. But they, if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have gotten what we have today, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
I mean, he was he was one of the main creators of the Haunted Mansion. So if you love the Haunted Mansion, you love Raleigh Crown, right?
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And I mean, he died fairly recently, didn't he?
Oh yeah. What was?
Yeah, it's March 12th of last year. So it was about a year.
Yes.
He died,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He was one of those guys that had lived for. I mean, he was pretty old at this point. I mean, he was 93. So and he was in a lot of the the Imagineering documentaries, and he would talk about Disney stuff, Imagineering stuff a lot. I mean. And besides that, I mean, he was part of the Tiki Room. I mean, he helped create the Tiki Room. So
he was involved in the World's Fair stuff as well, which spawned Small World. So
the land pavilion. If you like the land pavilion, that's Raleigh's work. I mean, he just is one of those guys that had his hand in a lot of things. And then of course It's a Small World too. He was a huge piece of that. So I mean, if he's responsible for a lot of classic Disney. So the fact that they're honoring him this way is pretty cool.
Yeah. So if you're on that ship, make sure you stop by and have a good look at that at his memorial.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So let's
talk food.
I need to create. I think I'm gonna create a production piece, Trevor. That's like a food alert thing, so that that I can play it, and then if people don't want to hear about food, they can just go.
Yeah. We can clip it food from this time to this time or something like that.
Well, because I always do food at the end now, so people can just bail out if they want to, right? So if they don't want to hear about food, go ahead and go away now. That's fine. Go. It's okay. Damon did it, so you can do it too.
Yeah, exactly. But we want to talk about food.
Yes, especially since I'm going to be eating some of this food, Trevor, because this is Flower and Garden. Flower and Garden has begun, and I will be at Flower and Garden. So I've already downloaded my Food and Wine app. Already going through it, been going through it. I'm very excited.
Okay. So we got a pretty big list here, and there's a lot of stuff that's repeating. So we're not gonna we're not gonna go over everything, but let's start from, if you've already started going through your list, what's at the top of your list?
The very top?
Yes.
Okay. Let me hold on. Let me find it. Let me find it on this list here. I mean, first of all, I've always liked the market that's over at Germany, because they have the toasted pretzel bread with Black Forest ham and melted cheese. I don't know if you've had that before, but it's delicious, and that's not a new thing. They've had it, but
ham and cheese is good. So yeah, I haven't had that one specifically because I do try to avoid the dairy stuff. But yeah, I'm sure it's good.
Also returning, the fried cinnamon roll bites with cream cheese frosting and candied bacon. Delicious. I think I feel like I had that with you, Trevor.
Yeah, I think we did have that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
so good.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
So good. And then the Fruit Loop shake, which was also a good one back we enjoyed that, my wife and I. My wife is very excited for the return of Frushi. She loves the fruit sushi. So that's one that she's really into. Let's see what else. I'm forgetting like all the stuff I looked at.
So these are all repeat things. Is there something new that you've seen that you're like, I have to go to this booth and try? I'm actually going through. There's a lot of new stuff. Yeah,
there's a lot of new stuff. So the Florida Fresh booth has. First of all, my wife was like drooling over the warm water lobster tail with key lime butter. That my wife that's right up her alley. I don't eat seafood, but that's a new thing. I was looking at this Cuban sandwich though. The marinated pork belly, ham, Swiss cheese, pickles. Like I really love a Cuban, sandwich. So like,
which booth is that at?
This is
that's Florida Fresh. Oh, okay. This is all Florida Fresh.
This is Florida Fresh. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I have to say too, this I know this isn't new, but I haven't had it. The chicken and waffles at Honey Bistro. It's the first thing on this list.
I saw that too. I was wondering if that was going to make your list.
Oh, it's definitely going to make. I've actually never stopped at Honey Bistro, even though we've done Flower and Garden a couple times now. But for whatever reason, we've just never stopped at Honey Bistro. But this will get me to stop because it's crispy chicken, honey sweet cornbread waffle with whipped honey butter and spicy honey. I mean, what else could you want in that?
I feel like it needs to say honey a few more times.
Yeah, just put more honey. Can we put more honey in it?
Dipped in honey and then fried in a honey batter.
And more honey. Just honey.
Honey, you want this.
Exactly. Let's see. I actually really wanted to try a Northern Bloom, this chocolate maple whiskey cake. I didn't the last time they had it, but I think that's over. Is Northern Bloom by Canada? I think it might be.
That would be the Canadian area, yes.
I thought so. I've noticed they have a lot more Impossible plant-based stuff going on this time around, which, is fine. I'm not going with my vegetarian people that I usually go with, but I was showing my sister the one dish that they have, which I'm trying to find. I lost it. But it's it's a biscuit. Yeah. So it's a biscuit with biscuits and gravy with Impossible chicken fried steak and Impossible sausage gravy. So I make homemade sausage gravy a lot. Not a lot, but like occasionally I'll make homemade sausage gravy with biscuits. That's just one of the things that I like to make. And it's like a nice little comfort meal. And whenever my sister's here, she makes her own version with Impossible sausage. Right. So she actually makes basically the same thing, but without, the chicken fried steak piece. But, for those that are, plant-based, like that sounds amazing. It looks amazing. The picture looks delicious.
Yeah. Like you said, just the sheer amount of stuff that is plant-based this time around is
a lot.
Crazy. Yeah.
Which makes sense for Flower and Garden too, right? Like it's kind of a fun, thing to do. Yeah. But fun thing to do. Like I was just thinking fondue.
Impossible fondue.
Impossible fondue. They also have an Impossible Jamaican beef patty with spicy papaya sauce. That looks pretty good. If I were into Impossible meat, then I would probably check that out.
Okay. Now I guess here's the thing. I do try a lot of Impossible stuff, but not because I'm like, vegetarian or anything like that. It's mainly because I'm trying to avoid dairy. But what I've found is that, even when you're dealing with Impossible stuff, they're really good at like I actually find sometimes that like a Jamaican beef patty, if it seasons well enough, it doesn't matter if it's Impossible enough. Like sometimes I actually find that the Impossible version can taste better than the regular version.
Okay.
So, I mean, something to think about. I'm not saying, go and try all of the Impossible stuff, but I wouldn't count it out just because they're labeling it as a plant-based option.
Yeah,
a lot of them are actually really good now.
My sister always talks about how great
Yeah.
the plant-based stuff is, and like how much they really love, a lot of the plant-based stuff. So, and in fact, actually, the other one my wife was excited about that I put on her list was that she really likes cauliflower, and so the Honey Bistro has the honey glazed cauliflower with roasted.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, honey roasted carrot puree, wild rice pilaf, and spring vegetables, honey blistered grapes, and sunflower brittle. I mean, everything in there, my wife's all about. Everything in there, I'm not all about. But I mean,
But, okay, I guess if she gave it to you, would you, or if she didn't say anything and just like said, "Here, try this"?
No, I'm very discerning with the thing.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right. You're like my wife, because I guess I've tried to do that with my wife, where I'm just like, "Here, try this," and usually like she trusts me and she knows that I'm giving her something because I know she would like it, or I think she would like it. A couple of times I've tried to like get her out of her comfort zone, and she's been like, "You're not going to do that to me again, right?" Like, it's like, fun. No, I'm not going to, feed you, Thai something that's, too spicy that you don't like.
Yeah. I'm just scrolling down to this Magnolia Terrace. The muffaletta is not new this year, but I do like a good muffaletta sandwich. So that's there's a panini there, and also Bananas Foster. Yeah. I mean, I'm always in for Bananas Foster.
Yeah, and that's a returning one too, right?
It is. Yeah, I'm actually the thing I'm most excited for is this toasted pretzel bread with black forest ham and melted cheese. I've gotten it like at least twice now because they've had it there forever, and
and that's where they have. I think because they have the potato pancake with the applesauce there too, which I think I had that. Yeah, and it was really good.
Yeah, that whole booth is always a good one.
I found something new that is sticking out to me.
Okay.
So I had Trowel and Trellis, the chocolate mousse terrarium with matcha crumble and chocolate soil. Have a look at that.
I was in it until they said matcha. I don't like matcha.
What's wrong with matcha?
I just don't like it. It's not my thing.
Okay, fair. Yeah.
It's I'm not a fan. If it didn't have the matcha on the top, then sure. But it does look cool. Like I like how it looks.
Yeah, I like the terrarium look, and I'm assuming that's just like a plastic terrarium thing on the top of it. But
I mean, maybe those are edible flowers. I don't know.
Oh, probably. I think that's the thing too. Is a lot of this stuff they try to make sure it's that it's edible.
Well, yeah, you don't want to give somebody a poisonous flower on top there and be like, oh wait, but don't eat that. I would hope not, anyway. But this booth also has an Impossible farmhouse meatball with lentil bread, spinach, marinated vegetables, and creamy herb aioli. That's interesting. Yeah, that sounds interesting. Yep. I do like a meatball.
Yep. What else is there?
A key lime wine slush. I love key lime. Do you like key lime? I like key lime.
Yeah. Oh yeah, key lime's great.
Yeah, I'm a big key lime fan. Let's see. We got so Farmer's Feast actually has an early menu, a springtime menu, and a summer solstice menu. It looks like I will be there for the summer solstice menu. But if you're there early, if you're there now, right? There's a veal tenderloin with spring pea risotto. Okay. That sounds. I mean, that looks pretty good.
So I'm all the way down at. I see Connections actually has something new, which is
going all the way down to Connections, huh?
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of skipping past like I said, stuff that's returning and so it's a hot honey chicken sandwich.
Ooh. Yeah. I like a hot honey chicken sandwich.
Yeah, southern fried chicken sandwich with hot honey, pickles on a brioche. But now the thing is, and I said this during my trip report, is that we found some of the best food on property for like quick service was at Connections. So
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is only for Flower and Garden. I think I might need to get there during Flower and Garden so I can try the sandwich.
Sounds delicious. Just get all the way down there just for that.
Yeah. Just walk into Connections, get a sandwich, and leave.
There you go. That's all you can do. Yeah. It's too bad they don't give you a free check-in day at the park. At Epcot. Right. Can you imagine if they did that? That would be crazy.
Just access to Connections, please.
Yeah. I just need to go in for Connections. That's all. So and then I'm going down further here. So there's I don't know how to say this correctly, and I don't want to butcher it, but this looks like maybe like Mexico Pavilion, maybe, or somewhere in that area.
Is this the Jardín de Fiesta?
Yeah, I'm just going with the Fiestas part.
Yeah.
So this is all new stuff in here. So there's a pepper braised pork on fried corn shells with black beans, shredded cabbage, crema mexicana, queso fresco, and chives.
Yeah,
that is. I mean, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm trying to figure out it looks like. I'm gonna butcher this, and I'm sorry if I do. I don't speak, proper Spanish or anything. Sopa de chilerillo or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
But what does that mean?
I don't know. That's a good question. Where did you see? Oh, that's the name of it. Okay. Well, then they also have tamales. They have poblano peppers, corn, cheese, and masa topped with poblano cream sauce, crema mexicana, and pickled carrots and onions with chives. And then if you're a flan fan, they've got a vanilla flan with guava coulis and whipped cream and fresh fruit.
Mm-hmm.
This is good stuff. This is all new stuff at this booth. So this is brand. Yeah. I mean, fully new menu.
Yeah, stopping by Mexico for sure.
I think it's Mexico, right? I didn't look, but
so I was trying to look up what that first dish is. It's just a pork dish that's served in Mexico, in a particular region. So, and then tamales is the second one. So,
well, and then now we have Primavera Kitchen, which I feel like has a brand new menu every year. This is over by Italy. Mm-hmm. This one has I don't know what mozzarella bocconcini is. Bocconcini.
Bocconcini.
Grape tomatoes and pesto sauce. Okay. Oh, it looks like just like a little cup of all that stuff, right there. But then there's a penne. What is it? Panette pasta? What is that? Just a smaller penne, I guess.
Yeah, bocconcini is mozzarella cheese balls.
Oh, okay, got it.
So it's
So they have a pasta with a spicy tomato sauce and a buttery shrimp, and then they have the same pasta with a 4 cheese sauce, which is probably the way I would go. And then there's also
quattro formaggi is just like yes,
yes, yeah, exactly.
And I say that that is one of those things when you get like a good like 4 cheese anything, that's where like I will sacrifice for the greater good. And it's like, yes, I know it's a lot of dairy, but I love
doing
it. Yeah,
it's worth it.
I do it and I pay for it later, and it's fine.
I'm also eyeing up this chocolate covered cannoli shell with peanut butter ricotta filling. Ooh. Yes, please.
It's like a Reese peanut butter cup, but way better.
Basically, yeah. So then we head our way down to Hanami, right? Yeah. This is where you can find the frushi, which my wife is very excited about. And you got the steam buns filled with vegetable and a plant-based soy meat. Okay. Yeah. And then they have a ramen.
Yeah, that's a vegan option, but steam buns. I know
you love your steam buns.
do you do steam buns at all? Because
sure. Yeah. It depends on the filling, I think. But yeah, I would do a steam bun. Yeah.
And then ramen cup. Wow, steam bun and a ramen cup. That's like lunch.
This is your heaven right here. You got your entree, you got your side, your dessert.
And actually, I mean that ramen cup. It's chicken dashi and chili oil with yuzu, so it's very. I think you would actually like that ramen.
I'm not a big ramen fan, but I wouldn't be against it.
It's chicken ramen, like chicken. Yeah. Chicken ramen's always good. But.
Well, and then they also have a watermelon strawberry lemonade, which I would tear that up. Like I love watermelon, I love strawberry. The combination of the two is amazing. So I would absolutely have that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So then we have Fleur de Lis, which is obviously a French one, right?
Yeah, definitely.
We have a new one here, which again, my wife got excited about this one: a pulled duck confit with orange sauce and garlic rosemary mashed potatoes. I'm not a duck fan, but my wife would definitely eat this.
I want a parmentier de canard de l'orange.
Oh, that was good. So it's funny, Trevor, right? So like I took Spanish when I was in school.
It's roast duck and orange sauce.
Yeah, but my wife took French, right? So like when I was going through this with her, I tried to read that out to her. And I was like, do you know what that means? And she goes, no. And then I read it out and she goes, you probably pronounced it wrong. And I'm like, okay. And then I spelled it out for her. She's like, yeah, you spelled that wrong. I mean, you said that wrong. So
yeah. French pronunciation is hard for sure.
It's a tough one,
And
right?
then there's a lemon cake.
Ooh,
Awesome.
warm cake filled with lemon, lavender, and thyme-infused cream with a berry compote. Oh,
Yeah.
man, that sounds delicious.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is some fancy cake right there.
That
I think is
is.
that
That's the yellow-looking one on the right. I think the one on the
dome.
left is the beignet one,
yeah.
which, again,
The
that looks awesome,
beignets-
too.
Beignets are returning, but beignets are beignets. So it's
It's a caramelized beignet filled with vanilla cream, too, and
Yeah.
glazed with caramel. Wow. Yeah.
Ooh,
give me that.
I want a lemon cake right now.
I love lemon flavored stuff. I
Yeah.
crave like lemon bars sometimes randomly because I don't know.
Mhm.
I like lemon and lime flavored stuff. Give me key lime cake, key lime pie, key lime flavor. You know, I'm good with that with basically anything. So yeah, this is the lineup,
Now,
man.
So here's this next one's kind of interesting. I guess there's a stand called Funnel Cake.
It's just
And
they
all
always
they-
have a funnel
Well,
cake.
they sell, but they say it's
Yeah.
new. so
well,
the-
maybe for this festival, but I feel like they always have a funnel cake stand somewhere.
But so it's funnel cake with powdered sugar, vanilla ice cream, strawberries, whipped cream, strawberry glaze, and strawberry crunch. That's a lot of strawberry.
That is a lot of strawberry.
But-
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny that they're just like funnel cake. Like it would be funny if they just like labeled all the booths like this is what you're getting.
French stuff.
Yeah. Orange duck, like
Probably
steamed dumpling.
tacos.
Yeah.
Like,
Probably tacos.
pasta.
Pasta. Just come get it. Don't
German things.
This
Yeah.
is beef.
Yeah. Something with honey in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh god.
It's just funny that we got through all that and it's like all these like lovely like
Yeah.
named themed booths and then it's like funnel cake.
Funnel cake. Just a funnel cake. Did we
I know you've been looking at all this good food, but have a funnel cake.
That's really funny. Oh man, I feel like we've reached our limit of sanity.
We're getting unhinged, which says it might be
Which
time to stop.
means it's time to go. I did have a California Adventure Food and Wine Festival one on here, and maybe we just go in here and pick out one or two that stand out to us, and then we can wrap her up.
Yeah, unfortunately, neither of us are going to be getting to this festival, so it's not nearly as exciting.
But I'm gonna be. I actually I shared the Food and Wine app with my brother-in-law, and I'm like, pick this out ahead of time because we're gonna be rocking out some Flower and Garden. I'm already seeing, Trevor, in the very first picture that's here, some sort of s'mores tart thing, and I want it. I want to get it here somehow. Someone
That
buy it for me.
marshmallow,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
got to be s'mores, right? Like that looks like a s'more
probably
thing.
s'mores caramel tart.
Okay, found
s'mores
it.
and caramel. Why not?
I mean, who doesn't want that? That sounds
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, I want to
a
eat
lot
that
of-
right now.
A lot of alcoholic drinks on this list.
Ooh, what
Like
about this
a lot.
carbonara garlic mac and cheese with pepper bacon? I feel like that's not a new one. I feel like I remember, really wanting that one last year. So
Whoa. Okay. I just found the cheese pizza flavored wings with ranch dip.
I mean, that sounds pretty good.
At the booth is called Cluckadoodle Moo.
Okay, see, we were just saying you need to name them what they are, right? And that's
Yeah, I mean that's pretty like.
I mean,
okay, that
yeah.
I'm getting chicken and beef here. That's all I need to know.
that's exactly right. Yeah, I mean, you
and-
immediately know what that means, right?
How do you feel about kiwi apple and lemonade?
It sounds pretty good, actually.
Yeah. So because that they have that there as well. It looks like.
Yeah, I would hit that up. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's see here. I'm just scrolling down and try to find anything that's new that I also want to eat or drink, I guess. Where is that
Yeah.
s'mores thing? I saw it in the first picture and now I see it nowhere. Is it just further down here?
Well, I think you should sideline that for the Mickey shaped macaroon with Snickers bar pieces.
I
'Cause I think that looks better than the.
can I just eat
s'mores.
both? I mean, I'll eat both.
Oh, and so nuts about cheese is the booth. And
I mean, listen, they're more straightforward with the booths over at California
Yeah.
Adventure, apparently.
yeah, but this one actually they've got a barbecue pulled pork, mac and cheese with crispy dill pickle onions.
That sounds delicious. I love when you take mac and cheese and throw something else into it, like pulled pork or like spicy chicken or something. Yeah. Always a great decision. I feel like. Seriously, Trevor, where's the s'more thing? It's freaking me out. I need to find it.
Well, no, it was up at the top.
I know, but was it actually there? I thought it was just a preview picture. Was it actually okay? Was it?
No, it's at California Craft Brews.
Oh, okay. Oh, there it is. It's the second item. I missed it somehow. Yeah. A graham cracker tart shell filled with caramel and chocolate ganache topped with a toasted marshmallow. I could eat 100 of those. I don't even care if they're good. I love s'mores. Like I love the s'mores, the combination of those three things. It might be my favorite combination of dessert things are those three. So, I mean, I would destroy one of those. Like if my wife tried to like be like, "Oh, can I have a bite?" I'd be like, "Get your own." Stay away. I'd stab her with the fork. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. That'd be really mean. All right, yeah, we've gotten.
I'm just imagining you hoarding like.
Yeah, just like holding it, like just like close to my body, like stay away from me.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me. This is mine. Yeah, that's pretty much what would happen. I mean, you don't get between me and my desserts. That's how we do it. So
that's fair.
Oh wow, I'm just going down here further down, Trevor. I don't know what is that? Oh my gosh, charcuterie flatbread. Chef's selection of deli and cured meats, mozzarella, caramelized onions, and chopped pepperoncini served with a dip. That looks good.
Which booth's that at?
That's down at Sonoma Terrace.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a chicken lollipop, a beer brine chicken with poblano mashed potatoes, caramelized fennel, and fried carrots. Heck yeah.
Yeah, so I guess whether you're going East Coast or West Coast, you got lots of good options for food.
Yes, lots of good options. I want to go to this festival now too. I want to go out to Disneyland and do this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe me and Damon are planning trips. Maybe you need to start planning a trip.
Oh man, welcome home Disneyland trip.
Yeah.
I like it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we could meet up and yeah, I'm just trying to think. I guess we could do like springtime in California. It works.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, let's wrap this.
Let's sideline that.
Let's get out.
Yeah. We can come back around to that later.
Yeah.
All right. We'll start wrapping this up here. So as usual, if you guys want to reach out to us, you can always find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We love getting your questions, trip reports, all that kind of stuff. And, just hearing from you guys. It's great to hear from people that enjoy the show. If you want to follow us on social media, you can find us on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast, YouTube as Welcome Home Podcast, and Instagram as Welcome Home Pics. On Facebook, you can join our group called Welcome Home Disney Waitlist, which is full of lots of great people that are all having fun with Disney, are passionate about Disney. There's all kinds of great question threads in there. I've been seeing trip reports, I saw a couple of people that posted about that they just missed me on their trip, but they were just arriving to Disney. Kind of sad about that. I wish I could have met you guys, but thank you for posting in the group and sharing your own Disney adventures, because I think we all love seeing that stuff. So, come join the group if you want to see that kind of stuff. And if you want to help support the show, you can go to store.welcomehomepodcast.com. You can check out our different shirts and all kinds of merch that we have. Some of the people who are posting about their trips, they were rocking, our golden button shirts and stuff like that. So, also very cool to see, that people are enjoying the merch and wearing it to the parks and whatnot. So keep that coming. Also, if you want to support us on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/welcomehomepod. You can check out our Patreon merch, which is different from our store merch. It's exclusive for our Patreon members, and our Patreon members get access to the Discord server, which, as we mentioned previously in the episode, is another place where we love talking with our listeners, and we just have great conversations about stuff going on at Disney, things like the new or the Welcome Center we talked about in Disney Springs. That was a great conversation in the group. So, or in the Discord server, I mean. But if you're interested in that kind of stuff, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Last but not least, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, leave us a 5-star review because we like seeing 5-star reviews, and it helps the internet share our love out to other people because that's how it works. 5 stars shares the love. And yeah, leave us a review. We love reading them and, seeing what you guys think about the show.
As long as it's a 5-star review.
Yeah. No, we read the less than 5-star reviews, but the 5-star reviews definitely get our attention quicker.
They do. So
Yeah.
we don't have any this week to read. So.
Yeah.
But I do want to say all of the contest entries that came in, everyone said like really nice, kind words. So I really appreciate that. A couple of people even mentioned that they've been listening since the beginning. To be listening to us for like 6 years now is crazy. So 6 years.
We are gonna try and do more stuff like that. Not necessarily exactly the same, but we are looking to do more things like that contest. So please stay tuned for more things like that.
And I promise we'll do a live show this year. I know we said we were going to do one last year and it just didn't work out. We will do a live show this year. Yeah. We like doing the live shows. They're fun. So we will do.
We need to make sure all of our lives align that we can make this happen. We'll force it this time.
Yeah. We'll make it.
We'll force it.
Yeah, exactly. So the other thing is, don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube Music. Any app out there that has podcasts, we are there. Just search for Welcome Home, you'll find us. Just a reminder to our listeners, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, all opinions we express on the show are our own. So please consult a DVC representative or Disney cast member for more information about anything we talked about today. Huge thank you to DVC Resale Market for sponsoring this episode and for World of DVC for being our continued supporters. Please check them out for all of your DVC needs. They are amazing. You need to check them out. Join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Do a hug when we hit its hair.